mind, because I've dealt with so many victims, they're really not thinking clearly. And she said, Ariel, I knew you would say that I knew you would ask me, why did I go back? And she said, honestly, I don't even have a good explanation. All I know is I just really wasn't there. I had on a t-shirt. I was at some strange man's house, the neighbor's house that she didn't know. She just thought she could go get, she had no purse. She had no keys. She had no cell phone. What was she supposed to do? And she was like, I figured maybe since they left, I could at least go try and get my stuff back. And she said, honestly, I've asked myself that many a times. I know this is probably going to come up to everybody, like, because any person like you and me sitting here logically not in that situation, not having experienced that, we can sit here and judge all day and say, well, I wouldn't have done that, or that doesn't make any sense. But none of us know what we would do until we were in a similar situation. So I've been in situations where I profess, oh, it's no way if I was in this situation, I wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. And then the minute I got in that situation, I did not do any of those things. So I do agree that that was a question. I do agree to a person who's like us, who's not dealing with that or has not experienced something like that. They would say, oh, I wouldn't have gone back. But what would you have done? You have no clothes. You have no means of getting anywhere, no purse. Your car's there, no car keys, no cell phone. And your help, the police, seemingly left you. What other option would you have?
If it goes to a jury, it's a good question. If it goes to the jury, it's going to be the reasonable mind of each juror who would make that decision. Ariel, like I said, I'm super appreciative that you spent this much time and that you helped us sort of navigate through the complaint. And I look forward to, I think we're going to be talking a lot more as this continues to go through the courts, this one and others. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Musician Sean Diddy Combs facing a new round of serious and disturbing allegations. The rapper and record label executive has been accused of sexual assault in 6 new lawsuits, all filed anonymously at this point. The alleged victims include men, women, and a teenage boy. The lawsuit says Combs told them, that then 16-year-old boy, that the alleged assault was a rite of passage to becoming a music star. That is the allegation from him. CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister is joining us now from Los Angeles. What more can you tell?
My name is Keyshawn. I've been using Kickoff for about 8 months now. My credit score went up about 150 points. Kickoff.
Accusers who filed as John Does, and there are 2 female accusers who filed as Jane Does. Now, these lawsuits, Sarah, range from 1995 to 2021. There are a lot of similarities throughout these lawsuits. All of the accusers are alleging that they were sexually assaulted by Combs, and half of the accusers alleged that they were drugged. Now, you mentioned that one of these accusers alleges that he was a minor at the time. He says that he was 16 years old. As you said, that Combs allegedly told him that this was a way to break into the industry when he sexually assaulted him at a white party. I want to walk you through some of the other lawsuits. One female accuser alleges that she was 19 years old at the time. She was a college student. Another woman says that she was raped at a party in 1995 for a music video. I want to read you part of her lawsuit. It says, quote, when plaintiff attempted to pull away, he violently struck her, slamming her head against the wall and causing her to fall to the floor. Disoriented and in pain, plaintiff tried to escape, but Combs hit her again, making it nearly impossible for her to move. That is when she alleges that she was raped. The most recent accusation coming from a man who says that in 2021 that he was actually flown out by Combs's businesses and transported from the airport to a party in New York. That is where he said that he was drugged, and then that he claims that he was sodomized. So very graphic details in all of these lawsuits. Now, you may remember remember that earlier this month, an attorney from Houston named Tony Busby, he came forward in a press conference. He said that he was representing at least 120 new accusers, that he planned to file lawsuits for all of them. These are the 6 first lawsuits to come from this attorney, so they are all represented by him. Now, I spoke to him earlier this month about the lawsuits that he said would be coming. Let's take a look at what he told me about some of those similar accusations.
The white party comes up quite often, but there's a lot of partying going on. Album release parties, after parties, club parties, parties after club. I mean, you name it. These were people that were there, that were allegedly drugged and then allegedly raped, passed around, woke up the next morning with just completely clueless about what had happened to them and just in utter shock and injured even.
Now, when I spoke to that attorney, he told me that he did intend to file lawsuits for all of his 120 clients that he says that he is representing, Sarah.
Has Combs or his attorneys responded to any of the allegations in these new lawsuits yet?
Yes, I obtained a statement from his attorneys yesterday. They say that that attorney is simply looking for publicity. I want to read you part of their statement, Sarah. They say, quote, Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts, the legal defenses, and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. So you see they're not responding to the specific allegations in these 6 lawsuits, but denying full stop that beyond even these 6 lawsuits that he ever sexually assaulted anyone.
Elizabeth Wagmeister, thank you so much for keeping us updated on this ongoing story with more lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. Appreciate it.
I'm joined by our CNN senior legal analyst and former Assistant U.S. Attorney Ellie Honig. Some of these go back to the 1990s, but this is the first time he's been accused of something with a minor. Can you just put this in context of what it means for prosecutors here and what this looks like?
So this is only trouble for Sean Combs because prosecutors look for this kind of thing. We look for media reports. We look for civil lawsuits as a way to find new victims in cases like this. So I promise you, the prosecutors on this case are reaching out to the lawyers for these 6 new alleged victims, and they're going to start vetting them. And if any of these victims prove out to be credible and corroborated, they're going to be added to this indictment. If we see a new indictment, and prosecutors are just trying to build their case here, they have this much more ammunition that they can look into using now.
So we can very easily see this being added to that indictment.
Happens all the time. In sex assault cases, especially where you have a mass
victim case. Is that a superseding indictment?
Exactly.
What is that?
You got the terminology, yes, a superseding indictment. But this happens in sex trafficking cases. I did a case once where we started off with 70-some victims, and when word got out, we did a big splashy press release. We found a couple dozen more because there's comfort in numbers, right? Think about if, God forbid, if you or someone you knew was a victim and you found out other people are coming forward, it makes it easier for others to come forward. So I do expect this case to grow.
Well, it makes me think of when Diddy was first charged, we had his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, here on The Source. We were talking to him because in the indictment it said 50 victims and witnesses. And obviously that's a massive number. He argued to me, he thought it was 49 witnesses, 1 victim.
Yeah.
I mean, you were skeptical about that.
I was very dubious then. Now I'm certain that that's wrong. First of all, the indictment says victims, plural. Second of all, I promise you that prosecutors are already in touch with at least the lawyers for these 6 new people, and they're going to check them out and see. And by the way, you have to be careful when you're a prosecutor with civil suits because they can be a good source of leads. But remember, these are people who are now asking for money. We've already seen comments from Sean Combs' lawyer saying, oh, they're just looking for a payday. So you have to be extra careful and make sure that you can not just believe them, but corroborate them. Can you back them up? Can you find other evidence that you can present to a jury and say they're telling the truth?
And of course, he's denied all wrongdoing. Yep. But when you're looking into this, if something is legitimate and prosecutors do find something, we don't know. Obviously, these are anonymous people who are making these very serious allegations. How soon could those charges be added?
Oh, you need to move very quickly.
He's going to trial next May.
Yeah, the trial's in May, and so prosecutors aren't going to want to blow up that trial date. I think they're going to want to get it in real quick. And by the way, some of these allegations, as you said, go back to 1995. People are probably wondering, well, isn't that beyond the statute of limitations? Usually it's 5 years. But the catch here is RICO, the racketeering charges, which prosecutors have brought. And racketeering can enable you as a prosecutor to charge conduct that goes way farther back than 5 years. So racketeering is a real powerful tool for prosecutors. I once charged a case involving conduct that went back to 1987 based on racketeering. So watch for prosecutors to use that here.
Eliana, thank you.
Thanks, Gabe.
In other news, Sean Diddy Combs has been hit with 6 new lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault, including from a 16-year-old boy. The musician has been further accused of raping women and sexually assaulting men, though has previously denied all of the charges against him. Our US correspondent Martha Kellner has the latest.
These new civil suits have been brought by at least 6 separate individuals and contain a whole slew of damaging and disturbing allegations against P. Diddy. They're brought by 4 women and 2 men who allege variously that between the years of 1995 and 2021, they were either raped or sexually assaulted by P. Diddy. One of those people making the allegations is a man who says that he was a 16-year-old boy when he was sexually assaulted by P. Diddy, who he says presented it as some form of a rite of passage for getting into the music industry. He alleges that Sean Combs told him, "Don't you want to break into the business?" before demanding that he drop his pants. There is an allegation also from a woman who says that she was 19 years old when P. Diddy raped her inside a Marriott hotel room in Manhattan. She's also taking civil action against Marriott hotels. There is another man who alleges that he was attacked by P. Diddy in the stockroom of Macy's, which is a department store here in the United States. He's taking action not only against Sean Combs, but against Macy's department store as well. Lawyers for P. Diddy have again insisted that their client is innocent of the charges against him. They said Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts, their legal defence and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, they say the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. Well, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, also faces a federal criminal case that was brought against him recently. The trial date for that is set for May next year. It may be that federal prosecutors decide that these new civil claims could be helpful to them in either expanding their case or bringing the existing case against Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy.
As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment.
Let's dive into the potential evidence in the Sean Combs criminal case. How strong is it? How does the defense fight against it? Well, we're going to discuss all of this with evidence expert Jules Epstein. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is a Law and Crime legal alert. So recent studies have uncovered a link between Depo-Provera, aka the Depo shot, and an increased risk of brain tumors. Lawsuits are being filed against Pfizer, the manufacturer of Depo-Provera, alleging that they failed to warn patients and doctors about this risk and instead rushed the drug to market while downplaying the adverse event reports. So if you've been diagnosed with a brain tumor or you're experiencing symptoms like headaches, vision problems, seizures, or other neurological issues, you may qualify for compensation. And Wright & Schulte, one of our legal sponsors, is a national firm helping those injured to ensure their claims are thoroughly presented. Visit deposhotclaims.com/sidebar to answer less than 10 questions and check your eligibility to file a claim. We've talked about the charges, we've talked about the rumors, we've talked about the developments. Well, now it is time to talk about the cold, hard evidence in the Sean Diddy Combs criminal case. How strong is it? How will the defense fight against it? This is really, honestly, the most important question we have to ask in this whole case. From a legal point of view, the evidence. Can the prosecution meet their burden? What do they have to prove? What? For racketeering conspiracy, they have to prove that Combs had an agreement with others to further a criminal enterprise that engaged in at least 2 criminal acts. Although it's listed that Combs and others engaged in bribery, arson, kidnapping, forced labor, sex trafficking. Speaking of sex trafficking, prosecutors will have to prove count 2, that Combs used force, threats, coercion to have victim 1 engage in commercial sex acts. That is the sex trafficking charge. The final count, prosecutors have to prove that Combs transported people for the purposes of commercial sex. This is transportation to engage in prostitution. And more specifically, prosecutors allege that Combs engaged in a campaign of abusing, exploiting, trafficking women for years, that he would use force, that he would force women to engage in freak-offs, allow.
Data brokers are selling your private information, and in the wrong hands, that information can lead to identity theft, hacking, even having some bad guy showing up at your front door. You don't want that. Here's the
May 5th, 2025 trial. We'll see if that trial date sticks. I've talked about that a lot on previous sidebars. But to talk to me about the evidence, to help me talk about the evidence, I want to bring in fan favorite, evidence expert Jules Epstein, who is the Edward D. Allbound Professor of Law and Director of Advocacy Programs at Temple University Beasley School of Law. So good to see you again. Really, really great to see you, Jules. Really appreciate you taking the time. It's been a minute. We haven't even had the chance to talk about the Sean Combs case yet. So before we even get into some of the more details of the specific evidence, overall, what do you make of the charges?
What I make of the charges from an evidence perspective is that it's a nightmare situation for him. And what do I mean? If he had only been charged with one thing, like the assault at the elevator that everyone knows about, the government would not be allowed to bring in arson, firearms, 1,000 bottles of lube found in his home. But as the charges grow bigger and bigger and bigger, everything becomes, you ready for this word, relevant, because they're all part of this grand scheme accusation. So just in terms of the volume of available evidence, it grows astronomically when you get a charge like conspiracy or here, corrupt organizations.
It's a really, really good point that they have a lot of leeway to introduce this evidence. And by the way, just really quick, from an evidentiary point of view, even though they're saying that this alleged criminal conduct is from 2008 to the present, right? Could they introduce evidence of him, let's say, allegedly assaulting people in the 90s? Would that be relevant to, would they be able to introduce something that old to help prove racketeering? I was curious about that because the reason I ask is so many of his lawsuits that he's facing, and we don't know if those accusers are going to be testifying in this trial, but a lot of it concerns conduct from the 90s, the early 2000s. It predates when prosecutors said that the time frame they're looking at. You think there's a way that prosecutors could introduce that evidence?
So I hate to do this, but give you the qualified maybe as an answer.
That's fine.
Let me tell you why. Normally, we try people for what they're accused of, not for what they did in the past, because what they did in the past is sort of a who you are or who you were, as opposed to did you do this? Okay, so if I'm charged with assault in 2024, no one should hear that I did an assault in 2019, right? Unless it's the same person or with some link. In a case like this, number one, the government might play it conservatively, saying we don't need to because we're going to have so much anyway. Why risk an appellate court saying, hey, you went too far? However, depending on the defense, if the defense says, for example, oh, these weren't coerced sexual encounters, everybody was happy to be involved, then the government might be allowed to bring in someone from 2004 who said, I was in that kind of encounter. It was not consensual. It was coerced. In the law, we call that a non-character purpose. In other words, that other act, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, doesn't just show, oh, you're a bad guy in this case, but it actually has a link. It explains motive or plan or intent. So again, you'd have to read, for example, those other lawsuits if they involved, what is it called? Freakouts, right?
Freak-offs, yep.
Freak-offs. Forgive me, I'm an old man, okay? Freak-offs.
Jules, you shouldn't know what a freak-off is in general, but that's just a separate conversation.
I'm happy to have that be the case. All right. Right? If it was similar, at some point a judge might say, I'll let it in, or I'll only let it in if the defense says it wasn't that way. If you think back, okay, infamous trials, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was accused of assaulting one woman. The trial judge let in 3 other women, Me Too, to say this pattern happened. I'm not saying that's a perfect analogy, but that illustrates how sometimes even old conduct may be deemed admissible.
That's a good point. That's a really, really good point. Okay, so now I want to ask you about this. Search warrants. Now, prosecutors have indicated that they have obtained a lot of evidence that was seized through search warrants. This is of Combs' properties in LA and Miami when they were raided back in March, and also what they seized on Combs and his co-conspirators on their person. And I have to imagine that's probably their phones. Talk to me, and by the way, as we say this, in a letter to the court, the prosecution indicated on October 7th, 2024, the government made its first production of discovery, which included, among other things, a complete set of search warrants in the case, meaning this was handed over to the defense. So defense counsel is going to be looking through all these warrants, what was used to obtain this evidence. This, I imagine, is their first line of attack. Attack the search warrants, because, right, if you attach the search warrants, maybe a lot of this evidence doesn't come in. How do they do it?
So it's hard to do because a search warrant simply has to be based on probable cause, which means a fair probability that evidence of a crime is in location X. So anyone would read what we call the affidavit of probable cause. That's where the law enforcement agent spells out, I am swearing under oath that here are the facts we've gathered that give us the belief that stuff, evidence, and it doesn't have to be criminal stuff. In other words, lube is not criminal, but it's corroborative of these claims. That evidence is in the place we believe it to be. When a defense looks at a search warrant, they first look to say, does it meet that probability test? Number 2, is the search warrant overbroad? Okay. Does it ask too much? You know, in other words, if there's probable cause for A, did they say, but we'd like to search for B, C, and D? Even if the warrant is valid on its face, then did you execute it properly? Did you look in places you weren't supposed to look? Did you seize things you had no right to seize? So that's standard in any criminal case, from the most insignificant, and I don't want to say anyone's criminal charge is ever insignificant, but minor charge to the most serious.
Let's talk about, let's say the search warrants are not, there's no ground to attack. The evidence is coming in, at least on that front. I want to talk about the digital evidence. And to be clear, as we discuss this evidence, a lot of this, what I'm about to say, comes from the prosecution's letter to the court when it was regarding bail of Sean Combs. He's been denied bail twice. He's fighting it to a higher court. So in this bail letter from when Combs was first arrested, the prosecutors write, the electronic evidence is similarly vast. The government has sought and obtained numerous search warrants for such evidence, in addition to obtaining evidence voluntarily from certain victims and witnesses. Setting aside devices seized in connection with the defendant's arrest, the government has obtained over 90 cell phones, laptops, and cloud storage accounts, as well as over 30 other electronic and storage devices, such as hard drives, thumb drives, cameras, a surveillance system. This electronic data comes from the defendant himself, as well as co-conspirators, victims, and witnesses, and chronicles much of the defendant's criminal activity as it occurs. So, Jules, what can we expect from that kind of digital evidence? And we're talking, I think his phones and his iCloud accounts were also sent to the defense as well.
So let me dial it back 1 second. If we're all in a conspiracy, let's say there are 5 of us, and each of us has their cell phones and computers and cloud accounts seized, I can only complain about the seizure of mine. So he will have no basis to say, oh, you shouldn't have searched co-conspirator 2 or gotten the phone of co-conspirator 3. We call that standing. That he has no standing to say my rights were violated. So the more people who have videos, text messages on their devices, there's no constitutional ground for him to say, oh, that should be suppressed. It's all going to be about what's on there. Does it pertain to the charges? Does it have extraneous stuff like people using cocaine at an event unrelated to any of this? Okay. People talking about sex stuff in a totally different context. So every single video or message or whatever is going to be scrutinized by the defense, the prosecution, and the judge to say, does it link to this case? But I'm imagining that that there are a lot of, how shall we say, video captures of various activities. And if I may just do one more thing, assuming the judge says, yeah, this is all pertinent, the judge has to make a couple of other decisions. When is so much too much? In other words, it's like piling on in football. And the second is some of it too inflammatory that they say, look, we shouldn't let a jury see that. Maybe we'll let the jury see 5 representative takes, not 500 takes.
That's a great point, because in this letter, the government writes, the evidence against the defendant, which would be made public at trial, includes substantial evidence that is highly sensitive and has the potential to significantly and negatively impact the defendant's reputation. For example, dozens of video recordings created by the defendant of freak-offs with victims. So you have to wonder, is a jury going to be seeing these multiple videos of freak-offs, and how are they introduced to that evidence, and what would the defense be? Would they say, I mean, again, it feels like that's going to be a key piece of evidence in this case, how it's going to be presented, how much of it's going to be presented, and what the defense responds to it, I think is an interesting question as well.
So going to the last, what will the defense response be? It's going to be one of 2 things. These video captures are only a small portion of an evening, so they don't really capture it fairly, right? Any 2 minutes of my behavior, right? You might say, oh, look at Jules, until you see the greater context. And then you'd say, oh, it actually looks different. I think much more seriously, and they've already forecast this in some statements in court that have been repeated in the media, is that this was adult consensual behavior.
So they look at the tapes, they come on, they go, but here's the, and I was just talking about this before, that let's say there's drug use. Let's say there's male prostitutes. I mean, for example, male sex workers. In the letter, it says victim testimony regarding freak-offs is at times corroborated by other witness testimony, communications with the defendant and commercial sex workers, travel records, hotel records, videos of the freak-offs, records reflecting or indicating payment. If you ask me right now sitting here, Jules, I think it's going to be very hard for Sean Combs to fight the 3rd charge, transportation to engage in prostitution, that he wasn't bringing in commercial sex workers. So if these freak-offs are now visible, we see them, or the jury sees them, does he deny that they're sex workers? Does he just say, does he deny those are drugs? Does he admit certain details of it, but says there's no threats here, there's no physical force, no one's being coerced into this? I mean, it feels like there has to be a little bit of admission and a little bit of denial of these freak-offs, if they really do have the videos of the freak-offs.
If they have that and proof people were paid and flown across state lines, and there's a pretty clear federal statute that says can't do that, then it's either, okay, I'll take the fall on that, right? Or my subordinates were doing that part. I was unaware. I just said, hey, let's have a party tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was blissfully unaware. I'm not suggesting that was or wasn't the case, but those are really the only two options. And right, in a criminal case, a lawyer has to really spend time to get the trust of their client. And then at some point have and we call it the come to Jesus talk. It's let's sit down and let's do a realistic assessment instead of just, oh, we'll win everything. What can't we win? Why can't we win it? How do we play this accordingly? And I shouldn't even say play like it's a game, but what is our response? Again, I'm not an expert in interstate transportation for commercial sex purposes, right? And whether there is a defense that it's pornographic movie making, which is allowed, I don't know. But the closer you get to, they've got us cold on charge X, then you have to figure out how you play that. Can you stand up at a trial and say, members of the jury, there's no secret.
Yeah.
We broke the law in this way. But they've gone way beyond that. That's sometimes what people do.
Jules, I apologize for this, but I have to ask you how relevant this piece of evidence is. You talked about it before, but in the bail letter, we all learned that the prosecution says the evidence consists of, to show the freak-offs happened, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant. Now, I'm curious how relevant this is going to be to the case and how important it is, because Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said, yeah, he said in a statement after the arrest, Sean Combs buys in bulk at Costco. Costco actually came out with a statement saying, we don't sell this. What value do you think that this evidence has? Because there's a lot of, this is a salacious detail, but how important are the bottles of baby oil and lubricant to this case?
So I hate to say this, but until we see the freak-off films and see if the people are spraying, baby oil and lubricant left and right, to be relevant, something has to be about this helpful. The tiniest bit, a smidgen. It has to have a tendency to prove a fact. This supports the fact, maybe not the baby oil, certainly the lubricant, right? That there was a lot of sex going on. How important that is in the greater scheme, I don't know. Does the government need it? I don't know. Might a smart prosecutor say, why screw around and use that precisely because it's just this lurid detail? I don't know, or hold it in reserve until we hear what the defense is. So lots of options.
I will go from what it could be a questionable piece of evidence to what I think is arguably one of the most important pieces of evidence. And you mentioned it before. The 2016 video of Cassandra Ventura purportedly being beaten by Sean Combs. It was published by CNN a few months ago. It changed the whole narrative of this case. I think that was, for a lot of people, the first real proof, the first real evidence they had of what the claims were against Sean Combs, that he was violent, that he was abusive. To see that with our own eyes, to see Sean Combs 2 days later on Instagram and essentially admit that was him, that to me feels like the most important piece of evidence. I'm curious how you think it's going to prove the different claims. And also the defense would be, I imagine, and this is something that's been put forward by Sean Combs' defense attorneys, this was a domestic spat. This is not evidence of sex trafficking or a racketeering. So walk me through how that video is going to play into the case and how the defense can fight against it.
It's probably going to play into the case depending on whether she will testify and give it context. if she doesn't testify, a judge and no one else from that day says, oh, we're having this crazy thing and the fight was about forced prostitution and that's when she tried. If you have no context, maybe it has no place in the case. If someone, whether it is the victim or someone else who was there, can say, I can tell you the backstory of what this was. This was not a fight over the laundry bill. This was not a fight over who's taking out the trash or who spent $50,000 on something we shouldn't have. This was a fight over what the government is alleging. It's really important because it's not just someone saying it happened, it's our seeing it happen in real time.
Yeah. And I know the government, I know his defense attorneys are saying the government leaked that video and they want an evidentiary hearing to prove that it was leaked by the government, by the Department of Homeland Security who raided the homes. And they're saying by law, right, if they can prove the government actually leaked it, they could potentially get that video suppressed and it doesn't come into the trial, right?
So I looked into that a little bit when I first saw it. I'm not sure the law is as strong on their side as they say, but I'm not going to say I'm expert on that. If you want to do another show, I'll do some research. Regardless of whether it can be suppressed, the government's not supposed to leak things. I'm just not sure that the remedy is a jury doesn't get to see it. We could pick a jury, believe it or not. I know this is shocking to you. Not everyone watches your show. And not everyone follows the news. It's a horrible statement. And so there are a lot of people who actually wouldn't have seen it. So it's sort of a no harm, no foul. If you didn't pollute the jury pool, I'm not sure why it gets suppressed.
That's fair. That's fair. Let me ask you this before I let you go. I think this case either rises or falls with the testimony of the alleged victims, the witnesses, the potential co-conspirators. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not people have taken deals with the government to testify against Sean Combs. And I think it really comes down to a lot of it, this witness testimony. Talk to me about what you're looking for when we hear the testimony of these alleged victims, when we hear the testimony of these witnesses to this conduct, to the people maybe within Sean Combs' inner circle. How is that going to, how can we expect that to be portrayed at the trial? And how do you think the defense is going to have an opportunity to cross-examine these witnesses?
So I want to break it into categories. If there are other primarily women who say he beat me, this me, that me, etc., the defense is going to be looking to see, is there any proof of that? Is there any behavior inconsistent with that? Like, oh, you say he beat you in January, in February you flew to Tahiti with him, not saying both couldn't exist. They're going to be looking to say, are you someone who brought a civil suit? Do you have a financial motive to say that? For the people who are the alleged co-conspirators, the defense is going to have to figure out, are they motivated by fear of their own prosecution? Could this be that indeed the underlings, the folks who worked for him, were doing criminal acts and actually shielding him from it? But when you get caught, you have to blame somebody higher up. That would be the defense argument. At the end of the day, each of those those are attacks we can anticipate. The value of them drops disproportionately when the strength of the video evidence goes higher. In other words, if there's stuff on video where he's saying certain things, doing certain things, that proves the co-conspirators' claims, the fact that they're trying to cut a deal to save themselves is less important. Right. Everybody's guilty, but I'm trying to be helping the government, it helps me. But who cares, because it's all on tape.
Well, listen, Jules, I mean, this is exactly what we were looking for. We wanted to break down what the evidence could be. We still don't know exactly what it could be, but I think we have a really good sense of it. Jules Epstein, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate your terrific insight, as always. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you, my friend. Take care.
All right, everybody, that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. Speak to you next time.
Rihanna, did you attend any of P. Diddy's parties? Were you involved in any of the freak-offs?
Rihanna's resurfaced tweets about 16-year-old Justin Bieber are sparking debate on social media.
This is not the time to go off killing yourself, taking no medicine, drinking no bleach, eating no poison.
Recently, new party footage has surfaced featuring Diddy and Rihanna, and it's causing quite a stir. Fans are buzzing with curiosity, wondering what this means for both stars. The unexpected reunion raises questions about their past and future together. What could this footage reveal about their relationship? Will it change how we see them in the industry? Join us as we dive into how this new party footage of Diddy and Rihanna changes everything. The new footage. The images of Diddy and Rihanna have sparked a lot of discussion and controversy among fans and media. Although Diddy and Rihanna have interacted in public several times, there is no clear evidence that Rihanna has attended any of Diddy's now famous parties. Still, they have been seen together at various events, including the 2014 iHeartRadio Music Awards, where they shared the stage, showing a professional bond that often catches the media's eye. Rihanna's previous relationship with Chris Brown adds another layer of complexity to how the public sees her interactions with Diddy. This past relationship was troubled and marred by misconduct, making people more cautious about how they interpret Rihanna's social situations. On the other hand, Diddy has also faced allegations of misconduct throughout his career. His remarks regarding Rihanna's situation during a 2009 appearance on Ellen DeGeneres' show were particularly controversial. He mentioned, "We know sometimes those relationships get ugly, you know." A comment that many found dismissive and disrespectful, considering the serious nature of domestic misconduct. With the new footage surfacing, people are re-examining Diddy's comments and views about these sensitive topics, creating a renewed interest in his behavior and relationships. One standout moment is a photo of Diddy and Rihanna taken at the VIP room in Paris on November 17, 2012. This image seems to capture a moment of closeness between the two, set against the lively backdrop of a well-known nightclub.
Stay, featuring Rihanna and Nicki Minaj.
The VIP room is famous for its exclusive clientele and extravagant parties, which further fueled rumors about their relationship. In the photograph, Diddy and Rihanna appear to be engaged in a private conversation amid the buzzing party atmosphere. This image has been shared and analyzed by fans and media, with many trying to interpret the body language and context in various ways. Another significant moment in their public interactions took place at the 2006 MTV European Music Awards Press Play After Party. At this event, Sean P. Diddy Combs and Rihanna were seen together, which only adds to the story of their frequent social encounters. The after party celebrated Diddy's album release and was a star-studded event. Rihanna's presence at this gathering helped solidify her position as a rising star in the music world. Images from this event show a younger Rihanna, still at the beginning of her career, mingling with well-established artists like Diddy, highlighting the close-knit nature of the entertainment industry. As discussions about the footage continue, the implications of past relationships and controversies remain a focus for fans and the media. Rihanna's history with Chris Brown, coupled with Diddy's previous remarks and allegations, creates a complicated landscape for understanding their current interactions. With all the speculation around Diddy and Rihanna's public interactions, fans are left asking, Did she ever attend one of Diddy's legendary parties? And if so, what did she have to say about it when asked directly? Let's explore Rihanna's reaction to the heated questions about these infamous gatherings next. Rihanna reacts to Diddy party question. Diddy is one of the most influential figures in the music industry. For over 30 years, he has been at the center of the entertainment world, rubbing shoulders with everyone from pop stars to rappers. He is known for throwing extravagant parties, where many celebrities gather to celebrate their successes and network with each other. Among the many stars who have crossed paths with him is the renowned pop artist Rihanna. She has always maintained a sense of charm and wit, even when faced with serious questions about Diddy and his rumored parties. Recently, Rihanna was leaving a party when journalists quickly approached her. They wanted to ask her about the scandal surrounding Diddy, which has been making headlines. The reporters were eager to know if she had ever attended one of Diddy's infamous parties, sometimes referred to as freak-offs.
Rihanna, did you attend any of P. Diddy's parties? Were you involved in any of the freak-offs?
The questions came at her in rapid succession, making it clear that they were looking for a scoop. One reporter directly asked, "Did you attend any of P. Diddy's parties?" and followed it up with, "Were you involved in any of the freak-offs?" As Rihanna was being escorted by her security, she couldn't help but respond. She cracked a smirk and mumbled, "That's crazy," as she got into her vehicle. This lighthearted response was caught on camera, and the journalists behind her shared a laugh, indicating that they understood the absurdity of the questions being asked. While Rihanna might have found it amusing, it highlighted a growing trend in how the media and fans are probing into the lives of celebrities and their connections, especially during times of scandal. Over the years, Rihanna and Diddy have had limited interactions that the public is aware of. They have been photographed together at events and parties, but their conversations or collaborations are not widely documented. Diddy has also made statements about Rihanna, especially concerning her past experiences with domestic misconduct. He has been vocal about his support for her during difficult times, showing that despite the rumors, there is a mutual respect between the two artists.
Moments of Rihanna and Diddy together enjoying party at Beat Awards.
In light of the scandal surrounding Diddy, there has been a surge of curiosity about who else may have been involved in his controversial parties. Many fans and journalists are eager to know the names of other celebrities who attended these gatherings. Joe Budden, a well-known podcaster and former rapper, felt the need to clarify his position. He took to his podcast to say, "You talk. For the last time, can y'all take me off the list of names that y'all think is on these tapes?" Budden expressed frustration at being included in the speculation, stating that he thought the rumors were simply jokes until they became more serious. Another artist, Trick Daddy, also joined the conversation in a more aggressive manner. He went live on Instagram, where he expressed his anger over being asked about Diddy's parties. He declared, clearly annoyed by the constant questioning. Trick Daddy emphasized that he is not welcome at those parties, which suggests that he has not been involved and wants to distance himself from the situation entirely.
You know what you did? Go ahead and face the consequences. For those of y'all that are grown adults, we don't care who you laid down and had with.
The interest in Diddy's parties and the people associated with him has grown, especially in the wake of the allegations against him. The speculation has led many to question not only who attended these parties, but also what kind of activities occurred there. This interest is fueled by the desire to understand the darker side of celebrity culture and the potential implications for those who were present. Rihanna's playful response to the probing questions might have left journalists laughing, but it also sparked a wave of reactions online. Could her body language really hint at something deeper, or are fans reading too much into it? Next, we'll dive into the internet's fiery debate and explore how fans reacted to the footage. Fans react to the footage. Fans were quick to share their reactions after seeing the footage, and the internet lit up with comments. Many fans rushed to X, formerly Twitter, to express their thoughts and emotions. There were two clear sides to the debate, with some defending the singer and others questioning her body language. Some fans confidently claimed that the singer had nothing to do with the allegations. They believed that it was impossible for her to be involved in any wrongdoing. One fan commented, "She was holding her laugh so bad, love her," showing their support for the singer with humor. This sentiment reflected the idea that some fans saw the whole situation as laughable, assuming that she wasn't worried at all and was just having fun with the moment. However, not everyone saw it that way. Another fan tweeted, "Y'all don't see that fear in her eyes." This fan seemed to pick up on a different vibe, suggesting that the singer might have been afraid or nervous when the question came up. This added an air of mystery to the situation, as some fans started to wonder if there was more going on behind the scenes. Another comment said, "He can't talk. She don't want to piss off B. She knows what's going to happen if she says one wrong word." This fan hinted at some deeper fear or tension, perhaps implying that the singer was worried about upsetting someone important. It suggested that the singer was cautious, knowing that even one wrong move could have serious consequences.
But yeah. I mean, I think really right now I just don't, I'm like.
Some fans were more direct in their criticism, asking why the singer didn't answer the question directly. One fan wrote, "Why didn't she answer OMG?" clearly frustrated that there wasn't a more straightforward response. This left some people feeling suspicious, wondering if her silence meant she had something to hide. Another fan echoed this suspicion, saying, "I didn't hear an answer. She seems guilty though." For fans like this, the lack of an immediate and clear response only fueled the fire of speculation. Still, there were those who defended the singer in creative ways. One fan tried to explain the situation with an analogy, saying, "I went to a bank once, and then a few weeks later, that same bank got robbed. Does that automatically make me a bank robber now?" This comment seemed to be trying to calm things down, reminding others that just because the singer was present in a particular context, it didn't mean she was guilty of anything. The range of reactions highlighted how divided people can be when something controversial surfaces about a beloved figure. Some fans jumped to her defense, feeling that the whole situation was being blown out of proportion. They pointed out that it was common for people to be accused of things they had nothing to do with, and that being around certain situations doesn't automatically make someone guilty. Others, though, couldn't ignore the body language they thought they saw, interpreting her hesitation and expression as signs of guilt or fear.
I can't even explain, because when I first...
The internet, as always, provided a mix of humor, suspicion, and defense. With fans passionately divided over the singer's reaction, it leaves us asking, is there more to the story than we think? And what about other celebrities' questionable interactions with young stars? Let's explore a resurfaced tweet from Rihanna about the 16-year-old Justin Bieber that has sparked fresh debate. Rihanna's tweet for 16-year-old Justin Bieber, a resurfaced tweet from 2010 by pop icon Rihanna, has stirred up discussions on social media about how young celebrities, particularly Justin Bieber, have been treated. At the time, Rihanna tweeted about a seemingly lighthearted moment involving then 16-year-old Justin Bieber. The tweet read, "Justin Bieber just flashed me his abs in the middle of a restaurant. Wow, he actually had a little six-pack. Sexy LOL. Hashtag believers, please don't come for me." While it may have been intended as a playful comment, many users on X, formerly Twitter, have raised concerns about the appropriateness of the tweet, considering Bieber's age at the time. This conversation has revived memories of other instances in which Justin Bieber was placed in uncomfortable situations by adults in the entertainment industry. Posts on X further brought up moments involving other celebrities, including Katy Perry, who allegedly touched Bieber inappropriately when he was around 15 years old.
Not really. I try to just go to like malls and stuff when kids.
These recollections have added fuel to the discussion about the treatment of young stars, especially when they are still minors. The debate has divided opinions online. Some fans defended Rihanna, stating that the tweet was part of a friendly interaction between the two. They pointed out that, according to reports shared on podcasts, Justin Bieber had made advances toward Rihanna, which she had turned down several times. Those defending Rihanna argue that the tweet was more of a joke between friends rather than a serious interaction. One user even remarked, "I know you weirdos only care about engagement and canceling the next celeb, not for victims," but Bieber asked her to tweet that. For those defending Rihanna, the focus was on context and intent, which they believe was lighthearted and not harmful. However, many users still felt uneasy about the tweet. For them, the fact that Justin Bieber was only 16 at the time makes the situation uncomfortable, even if it was meant as a joke. They felt that celebrities, even in jest, should be more cautious when engaging with minors, especially publicly. The power dynamics at play between young stars and older celebrities can create situations that may seem inappropriate, even if unintentional. Several users expressed their discomfort with comments like, "Not Rihanna too," and referred to other problematic instances of celebrities interacting with young stars. Some quoted Juice WRLD's famous line, "Every day it's something new," reflecting a sense of ongoing concern about how young stars are treated in the spotlight. The larger conversation raised by this resurfaced tweet underscores the need to re-examine how minors, particularly those in the entertainment industry, are treated by their peers and those older than them. One user summed it up by saying, "All these celebrities have a Lil Diddy in them," referencing recent troubling allegations against Diddy Combs involving trafficking and inappropriate relationships with minors. The statement implies that there is a pervasive issue within the industry when it comes to boundaries and behavior around young talent. As this debate continues, it highlights a growing awareness of how important it is to treat young celebrities with respect and caution. Moments that might be brushed off as jokes at the time can later be seen in a different light, especially as society becomes more aware of power dynamics.
It's kind of working behind time to start developing these funds
and the responsibility that comes with fame. Whether or not the tweet was intended to be humorous, it has certainly sparked a reflection on how the industry should navigate interactions with younger stars and ensure their well-being. The resurfaced tweet about Justin Bieber sparks questions about how young stars are treated. But what happens when allegations of misconduct target some of the biggest names in the industry? Who's really involved? And how deep does this go? Stay tuned as we explore the shocking implications of the alleged list next. The alleged list and its implications. The recent allegations against Diddy Combs have caused a major shock in the entertainment world, with the emergence of a list of celebrities allegedly involved in his activities. This list, although it does not include Rihanna's name, implicates several high-profile figures, raising concerns about their potential involvement and what this means for the larger investigation into Diddy's actions. While Rihanna's name is absent, the seriousness of the matter remains, as the individual's name suggests that the issue runs deep within the entertainment industry. One of the prominent names mentioned is Stevie J, a well-known music producer and television personality. According to court documents, Stevie J was allegedly used by Diddy to manipulate individuals into compromising situations. This allegation shines a light on the manipulative tactics that may have been employed to aid Diddy's alleged wrongdoings. In addition to Stevie J, there is also mention of a Grammy Award-winning R&B singer whose identity has been kept secret in the court documents, even though this singer's identity has been redacted. Their connection to these allegations suggests that well-known figures from the music industry might have been caught up in Diddy's network. This speaks to the high-profile nature of those potentially implicated in these activities. Another shocking detail is that court documents indicate that Diddy's associates allegedly gained access to international dignitaries, including Prince Harry of the British royal family. The mere mention of such a high-profile figure suggests that Diddy's reach may have extended far beyond the entertainment industry and into global circles of influence. Cassie Ventura, a singer and dancer who previously filed a lawsuit against Diddy related to allegations of misconduct, is also mentioned in relation to these claims. Her past legal action has resurfaced as part of the broader investigation into Diddy's alleged behavior, adding further weight to the accusations against him. The larger context of this list is important in understanding its potential consequences. Diddy has been accused of using his power, wealth, and influence to engage in and facilitate illegal activities, often involving other celebrities or influential figures. As a result, the list of names is not simply a roll call of his associates, but possibly a web of individuals who may have been involved in or aware of these alleged crimes. The exposure of this network could bring significant legal and social consequences for all those mentioned. What happens when three of the most influential icons, Diddy, Oprah, and Steve Harvey, come together for a party that has everyone talking? You won't believe the shocking revelations, unexpected alliances, and game-changing announcements made that night. This is more than just a celebrity gathering. It's a turning point that could shake up the entertainment world as we know it. Curious to find out what went down. The unveiling of the party footage recently. Party footage featuring Diddy alongside media powerhouses. Oprah and Steve Harvey has become the focus of intense speculation. This footage has resurfaced amidst Diddy's ongoing legal issues, leading many to question the dynamics between these prominent figures and whether their connections hold deeper implications. Although footage of the trio together at a party has stirred curiosity, it's important to clarify that most of the recent media coverage revolves around pictures from past events rather than new videos. Diddy is known for hosting extravagant and exclusive gatherings attended by high-profile celebrities across industries. From fashion icons to music legends, his parties have long been a hub for networking and indulgence. These events, often featuring luxurious venues and an atmosphere of opulence, blur the lines between casual socializing and professional connections. Steve Harvey and Oprah Winfrey are regular faces within this elite circle, with Steve frequently attending Diddy's industry events over the years. These gatherings are not just social occasions, they're status symbols. Attending one of Diddy's famous parties often signals alignment with the entertainment mogul's powerful network. The presence of individuals like Oprah, a media titan with vast influence, and Steve Harvey, a popular TV host and comedian, only heightens the perception of exclusivity. These celebrities, by association, project an image of solidarity and friendship, reinforcing Diddy's place at the center of Hollywood's elite. As Diddy faces his current legal challenges, the spotlight has intensified on his inner circle. The media and public have started to scrutinize his relationships, speculating about the implications of his powerful connections. Oprah's presence at these events is significant not only because of her reputation, but also because of her influence in shaping narratives.
Watering plants? No, I don't know if guys have noticed this, like a lot of ladies drink water at parties. They just, so if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave. Right. Gotta keep them there. Right.
Similarly, Steve Harvey's consistent association with Diddy's gatherings has prompted some to revisit the timeline of their interactions, questioning whether these friendships might impact the way the story unfolds in the media. Over the years, Diddy's parties have attracted a range of celebrities, from the music industry's biggest names to Hollywood A-listers. Recent investigations have led some media outlets to revisit these connections, questioning whether the high-profile nature of Diddy's events masked problematic behavior behind closed doors. Reports have emerged showing the attendance of various influential figures at Diddy's gatherings, including Chris Rock, Pharrell Williams, and more, highlighting the extent of his reach within the entertainment industry. By linking these high-profile appearances with Diddy's current situation, the media amplifies the narrative that there might be more than meets the eye. These associations are being analyzed for any indication of deeper affiliations or business ties, as public interest peaks over how these relationships might evolve in light of the ongoing developments. Could Oprah and Steve Harvey's appearances at Diddy's parties indicate a deeper business alliance or simply casual networking among Hollywood elites? As Diddy's legal issues unfold, will his powerful friends like Oprah and Harvey continue to stand by him, or will they distance themselves to protect their own reputations? Diddy and Oprah, a powerful alliance? Diddy and Oprah's relationship spans several years, often highlighted by their public appearances at events symbolizing more than just friendship. Their alliance raises questions. Are they simply business acquaintances, or does their bond go deeper, influencing the entertainment and business realms? Over the years, Oprah and Diddy have been spotted together at high-profile events, such as the CFDA Fashion Awards, emphasizing their crossover appeal in both fashion and entertainment. Their alliance extends beyond socializing. They've appeared together at events focused on philanthropy and media, suggesting strategic positioning. Diddy's fashion line, Sean John, and Oprah's involvement in fashion shows underline the business value of their partnership. Oprah's circle is composed of some of the most influential names in media and entertainment, from Gayle King to Tyler Perry. Diddy's regular inclusion in this exclusive group indicates his strategic alignment with Oprah's network, helping him maintain influence in entertainment and media. Given her history of supporting and defending close friends through controversies, Oprah's connection with Diddy is now under increased scrutiny. As Diddy faces legal issues, her influence could become crucial in either amplifying or downplaying narratives surrounding him. Oprah has a long-standing track record of managing controversy involving those within her network. Her connections and media power allow her to shape public perceptions, potentially influencing the ongoing developments concerning Diddy. If she publicly supports him, her credibility might lend weight to his defense. Conversely, any distancing might signal to the public and media that even Oprah is wary, thus affecting Diddy's reputation further. Will Oprah's loyalty to Diddy remain steadfast, or will she choose to protect her brand by distancing herself? Steve Harvey's role in the controversy. Harvey's presence in Diddy's network has been well documented through their numerous public collaborations and appearances. The question arises, is Harvey's association purely professional, or does he hold a deeper role in Diddy's inner circle? Steve Harvey, known for his influential media presence, has not released a significant statement addressing Diddy's recent troubles. This silence has sparked speculation about his stance. The pair's history includes collaborations at industry events and mutual appearances that suggest a long-standing friendship. However, Harvey's reluctance to comment publicly may indicate a cautious approach to protect his own brand amidst the controversy. Harvey and Diddy's collaborations span years, ranging from hosting events together to being spotted at Diddy's exclusive parties. Their bond extends beyond work, as they've shared stages and socialized at industry functions, making Harvey a familiar face in Diddy's social circles. This deep connection has fueled rumors that Harvey might be caught in the fallout from Diddy's legal issues. If he continues to stay silent, it could affect his image as a neutral, friendly figure in Hollywood. Harvey's close association with Diddy has prompted the media and fans to speculate. Is he distancing himself to avoid negative repercussions, or is he silently supporting his friend? Will Steve Harvey's continued silence raise more questions about his involvement in Diddy's inner circle? Could Harvey's reputation be at risk if he eventually chooses to defend Diddy publicly? The mystery behind the party. Recently surfaced footage from a party hosted by Diddy has sparked intense scrutiny and speculation, particularly given the backdrop of his current legal troubles. This chapter explores the details of the event, the prominent figures present, and the implications of the footage amid Diddy's ongoing controversy. The footage in question was recorded at one of Diddy's lavish parties, renowned for attracting A-list celebrities, including Oprah Winfrey and Steve Harvey. Events hosted by Diddy have long been characterized by their exclusivity and opulent settings, where networking often blurs the lines between professional relationships and social interactions. The exact location of this particular gathering remains unclear, but Diddy's parties typically take place in high-end venues known for their extravagant decor and celebrity guests. Prior to the emergence of this footage, Diddy faced mounting legal issues, including allegations related to trafficking and racketeering.
We begin with breaking news. Reports that a Holmby Hills mansion linked to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was raided by Homeland Security.
As such, the timing of this footage's resurfacing has raised eyebrows and prompted questions regarding the nature of the attendees' relationships with Diddy. Oprah and Steve Harvey's appearances at this party, alongside other influential figures, have drawn significant media attention, particularly as their connections with Diddy could potentially affect their public images. In the wake of these legal challenges, the implications of high-profile individuals attending Diddy's events are substantial. The media has been quick to link these appearances to Diddy's alleged actions, speculating whether these celebrities were aware of the unfolding controversy, or if they chose to overlook potential red flags in their associations with him.
That there will be other high-profile individuals, some household names. He says, quote, many powerful people, there are many dirty secrets.
Furthermore, as legal proceedings progress, any footage from these gatherings could become relevant in court, especially if it is deemed to hold evidence related to the allegations against Diddy. This situation raises several critical questions. How will the presence of such influential figures at Diddy's parties affect their own reputations? Will Oprah and Steve Harvey choose to publicly
I saved $700 with Liberty Mutual. Crazy what you can get with those savings.
Which might suggest tacit support. The footage, when analyzed within the context of Diddy's legal challenges, serves as a powerful reminder of how intertwined personal and professional lives can be in Hollywood. Celebrity connections, a network of influence. In the ever-evolving landscape of celebrity culture, connections can make or break reputations, especially in times of crisis. Sean Diddy Combs, with his extensive network of influential friends, is currently navigating one of the most turbulent periods of his career due to multiple legal challenges, including serious allegations of misconduct and trafficking. But how does his network of celebrity connections play a role in managing his situation? Diddy's circle includes some of the most prominent figures in the entertainment industry, such as Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. These relationships are not merely social. They serve as vital support systems during tumultuous times. The influence of high-profile friends can significantly sway public perception, acting as a buffer against negative narratives in the media. Celebrities often rally around their own, offering not only personal support but also strategic advice on public relations and legal matters. Historically, we've seen how celebrity friendships can shield individuals during scandals. Take, for example, Jay-Z and Beyonce, who have maintained their status amidst numerous controversies. Their combined star power and carefully crafted public personas allow them to manage crisis effectively, often emerging unscathed. Diddy, too, has a similar strategy. His relationships often provide a platform for mutual defense, where friends lend their voices and influence to mitigate the fallout from his legal troubles. Moreover, the media plays a crucial role in amplifying these celebrity connections. High-profile friendships often become the focus of news cycles, shaping the narrative surrounding an individual's challenges. In Diddy's case, the media spotlight not only examines his actions, but also scrutinizes his associations. This interplay of celebrity relationships and media narratives can either bolster or undermine public support. For instance, when allegations against Diddy surfaced, many looked to how his friends responded. Would they stand by him, or would they distance themselves? The dynamics of these relationships are crucial, as celebrities often act as character witnesses, lending credibility to one another. Diddy's past interactions with figures like Oprah, who has significant cultural capital, could either elevate his standing or exacerbate his predicament, depending on how they choose to engage with the unfolding drama. Additionally, the impact of social media cannot be overlooked. Diddy's network extends beyond traditional celebrity friendships into a realm where public statements and social media posts can shape perceptions in real time. Support from influential figures can help sway public opinion, allowing Diddy to retain some level of control over his narrative. For example, if friends choose to publicly express their loyalty during his legal battles, it can mitigate some of the backlash he faces, illustrating the protective nature of celebrity connections in crises. However, it's essential to recognize that not all associations are beneficial. The company one keeps can also lead to increased scrutiny. As Diddy navigates these legal waters, the implications of his connections could backfire, particularly if any friends become embroiled in his controversies. In conclusion, Diddy's extensive network of celebrity connections plays a pivotal role in shaping the public's perception of him during his current legal challenges. These relationships can provide both support and scrutiny, influencing how he navigates this tumultuous time. But as we dive deeper into the intricacies of celebrity influence, one must wonder, how long can this network hold strong against the mounting pressures of public opinion and legal ramifications? Oprah, Harvey, and Diddy. Mutual interests. Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, and Diddy all share a web of mutual interests and business ventures that highlight their interconnectedness. These influential figures have built vast empires, which often intertwine in both business and media collaborations. Oprah's ventures extend beyond her famous talk show. Through her company, Harpo Incorporated, she owns a stake in the Oprah Winfrey Network, or O, and is involved in other media ventures like Weight Watchers, or WW, True Food Kitchen, and Oatly. These investments reveal how Oprah strategically partners with other high-profile names, leveraging her influence to expand her empire and build alliances. Steve Harvey, another significant media personality, runs his own production company, Steve Harvey Global, and hosts various TV shows. He has often been associated with Oprah through mutual business circles, and they both serve as mentors and influential figures in media. Diddy, on the other hand, has built a business empire with ventures like Revolt TV. his own music and entertainment network, and other profitable investments in fashion and spirits such as Sean John and Ciroc Vodka. These business endeavors highlight a pattern. All three utilize media platforms to maintain their influence. The collaboration between these figures can be seen through various projects and public appearances. For instance, Diddy's network, Revolt TV, has hosted shows featuring Oprah and Steve Harvey, allowing them to mutually boost their influence and audience reach. Such partnerships help them maintain their relevance and visibility in the media landscape. This level of mutual support is not new. Celebrities often work together, lending their names to each other's projects to ensure widespread recognition and success. Powerful individuals like Oprah, Steve Harvey, and Diddy often form alliances to navigate controversies and maintain their public image. When one of them faces difficulties, the others may offer support, either directly or through their platforms. For example, when Diddy faced legal troubles in the past, his media connections and influential friends played a crucial role in shaping public perception, illustrating how celebrities rally together to control narratives. The concept of influential figures banding together isn't new. In Hollywood, powerful alliances are essential for maintaining status and influence. Oprah and Diddy have collaborated with numerous celebrities over the years, often hosting or attending each other's events, which boosts their brands. For example, Oprah's ties with influential celebrities like Jay-Z, who is also close with Diddy, and Harvey's work with other comedians and talk show hosts show how interconnected these networks can be. With Diddy's current legal and reputational challenges, the dynamics between these figures may shift. If Diddy's situation escalates or comes under further legal scrutiny, it might test these relationships. Oprah and Harvey might distance themselves publicly to avoid backlash, especially if the controversies involve sensitive issues. Alternatively, they may choose to support Diddy discreetly to maintain their network's integrity. In the past, Hollywood figures like these have supported each other behind the scenes to manage crises, as seen when other celebrities rallied around prominent figures like Harvey Weinstein before his public downfall. If Oprah and Harvey continue to publicly associate with Diddy despite his troubles, it could suggest a deeper, perhaps business-oriented relationship that outweighs potential risks. This interconnected web of influence highlights how celebrities often act in their mutual interests. Whether through business ventures, media collaborations, or strategic support, figures like Oprah, Steve Harvey, and Diddy form alliances that ensure they maintain power, visibility, and influence, especially when their empires are at stake. The impact of the party footage. What's next? The recently surfaced footage of Diddy, Oprah, and Steve Harvey has sparked intense speculation. The timing of the footage is critical, as it coincides with Diddy's ongoing legal battles. As the footage circulates, it might play a role in Diddy's case if presented as evidence. Legal experts suggest that such footage could either help or harm his defense depending on the narrative presented around it. The media's role in distributing this footage is significant. In today's digital age, the media amplifies controversies, often influencing public perception before court verdicts are even reached. Tabloids and online platforms have already analyzed and speculated about the footage, which adds to Diddy's existing scrutiny. As for legal strategies, Diddy's team may argue that the footage shows innocent social interactions, while opposing parties could present it differently, especially if it reveals any inappropriate behavior. Legal experts mention that past celebrity cases demonstrate how critical such footage can be when shaping public perception and influencing jury opinion. Oprah and Steve Harvey's involvement further complicates matters. If their legal teams don't act swiftly, their association with Diddy might impact their reputations. Public figures like them must navigate the fine line between supporting a friend and protecting their own brands. Distancing themselves could be a protective strategy, but it may also attract criticism from fans and the media. Public reactions to the footage have been mixed. While some view the celebrities' appearances as harmless, others speculate about their involvement. The footage has led to debates online, with fans divided between defending the celebrities and expressing disappointment. If legal proceedings intensify and this footage becomes central, it may affect their long-term image, impacting not just Diddy but Oprah and Steve Harvey as well. As the situation unfolds, the party footage remains a crucial element in the story, highlighting the power of media, public perception and legal strategies in the lives of high-profile individuals.
Well, Australia is mourning the loss of beloved veteran journalist George Negas, who has passed away at the age of 82.
Very sad news for us all yesterday. Let's get some more. Here's our entertainment editor, Peter Ford. Pete, he was a pioneer in not just in journalism, but in so many ways for all of us in TV.
Yeah, absolutely. Iconic and unique. And our condolences, of course, go to his wife, Kirsty, and his sons, Ned and Serge. And Serge wonderfully works at 60 Minutes now as a producer. And you see George there in his heyday. He did a lot of different things, but 60 Minutes is the sort of reference point that most of us will go to. I mean, he really was, I would suggest to you, the first on-the-road reporter to become a superstar. Now, there were a lot of well-known, high-profile journalists back then, particularly from Four Corners and This Day Tonight, which indeed was where George started, but none of them would make the cover of TV Week. But when he went to 60 Minutes and that machine of Channel 9 publicity made all of those original cast members, reporters on the show, made them superstars, and George probably the biggest of them all. He had a great style about him, a style to be able to tell a story. And that story, I think, came from the fact that he was originally a school teacher. So he knew how to tell a story and explain something in a simple way with clarity, but make it entertaining as well. Now, look there, that's Paul Hogan.
Yeah,
that's
I was going to say, we do have to point that out.
Yeah, you saw. That's you know you're iconic when they want to send you up on TV shows like that, and that was so beautifully done. George Fungus was the name there.
Wow.
But his career has been greatly celebrated in the last 24 hours, and so much affection for him from people in the industry as well. And you know, journalism is not always the most popular of professions. Very often it's sort of sandwiched in between used car salesmen and sex workers. But George was different. He was loved by people. Now look at that. That's the other moment that we all refer to as well. Now, a lot of journalists, if you've watched that, and we've all watched it 100 times, it's really unclear who won the battle. But a lot of journalists would have said, oh, I don't want that to go to air because it looks like she sliced and diced me. But I think George knew perfectly well that was a great moment of TV, and you would be foolish to not want that to go to air. So the other thing that with George was he has been well respected and well celebrated during his lifetime, even though these last few years have, of course, been very difficult as he's battled Alzheimer's. But he got a Lifetime Achievement from the Walkley Awards. He was given an Australia Day honour. And in fact, on that day, he appeared on Sunrise. And he was, I think, more proud that he got it for his work in environmental issues than he was really for his work in journalism. Here is George Negas on that day on Sunrise.
It's interesting from my point of view as a journalist that the things I'm interested in personally are the things I actually do professionally. There's no line I draw between the two, to be honest, and the environment's one of them. But Indigenous affairs is another area where our family is deeply involved. So anything that's got a big S for social issues or even a small P for politics, we're involved.
And another of his claim to fame is the fact that he's, I think, the only person to host a morning radio show on commercial radio being heard in Melbourne and Sydney simultaneously. It didn't succeed. It was part of a big experiment to do a national talk network. Kerry Packer was behind that, but he was good at it, as he was good at everything he did in the world of journalism. So hats off today to George Negas.
Yeah, just for context, with that Margaret Thatcher thing, if you haven't seen it, he says to her, people are calling you pig-headed. And she said, what people? Where? And he said, well, people in the shops. And she said, what shop? What time? And it just went on and on. It's worth looking at. It's incredible.
Yeah, very sad day, I guess, when that news came through. As we move on, Pete, Sean Diddy Combs is facing fresh criticism this morning.
Yeah, well, the criticism today, and there's a world of criticism revolving him at the moment, but this is particularly because he's gone on to Instagram and has done a post to celebrate his daughter Love's birthday. Love is her name. And he basically, in normal circumstances, any famous dad would do that. Of course, at the moment, he's infamous rather than famous, and he's done it from prison. So it does raise a whole bunch of questions, including, does he have access to social media even though he's in prison? Now, when he wanted to have this home detention until the trial begins, one of the things they promised was he will have no access to a phone or to social media. People are now asking, well, has he got that? Now, I might add, they also did have to turn off the comments section within an hour because you can imagine the sort of comments that were being, and you're involving a young kid in something very, very ugly. So I thought it was a strange thing for him to do. Presumably, if he's accessing Instagram, he could have sent a private message to his daughter. So you'd have to wonder about the motive. And this comes on the back of 6 new cases, which have now been taken on. These are civil cases against him. However, Diddy's legal team are hitting back and are saying, no, hang on, this guy, Tony Busby in Texas, is a publicity seeker. Now, he's the man who announced last week he'd taken on 120 cases, said he'd fielded 3,000 calls, and now 6 new cases, one of them involving a male at the age of 16 when this allegedly happened. So yeah, they're fighting back in as much as saying, this guy who's putting out all this information and generating publicity for himself is doing it because he's an attention seeker.
Hollywood gets away with things that ordinary people can't, and that anyone with a functioning moral compass doesn't want to. Rapper P. Diddy, whose real name is Sean Combs, was just arrested on racketeering and trafficking charges for what went on at his massive A-lister parties. Consider Kesha's 2010 hit Ruined.
Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Over the years, celebrities from Leonardo DiCaprio to Paris Hilton to Howard Stern to Martha Stewart to Beyonce attended parties at Combs' house in the Hamptons. Maybe some of these parties were just big bashes without open illegal activity. Hard to know, but this indictment is pretty insane. Combs wanted to integrate hip-hop into the echelons of the mega rich at his Labor Day Hamptons white parties. They were legendary, apparently.
You're legendary for the parties that you throw. You throw a great party.
I'm a legend, baby, for a whole bunch of things.
Yes.
You know.
Huh?
Yeah.
What do you do to make just an amazing killer party?
Women. Beautiful women, of course. We need alcohols.
Right.
Alcohols. You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
yeah.
Authorities claim that Combs called certain parties of his freak-offs. There, he allegedly arranged, directed, pleasured himself, and often electronically recorded. Prosecutors claim that he abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct for decades. He created a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Diddy's arrest came months after a federal investigation and raids on his properties on both coasts, his Los Angeles mansion and a waterfront pad in Miami. One of the Department of Homeland Security agents involved in the raid of his Florida house claimed he saw rooms clearly dedicated to illicit activity with cameras all around. What else did the feds find in the houses? Narcotics, 3 AR-15s, ammunition, and a lot of evidence of the freak-offs. They found more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, according to the indictment.
That's disgusting.
Diddy, if you didn't know, is the founder of Bad Boy Records. Fitting. So during these freak-offs, he allegedly hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. He allegedly coerced the victims to engage in X-rated acts and controlled them through physical force. He threatened to withhold money from them. He tracked their location. He dictated their appearance. He monitored their medical records and more. On behalf of women everywhere, lock him up.
We will capture this P. Diddy.
Combs will remain an inmate at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, plans to
fight like hell
for Diddy in Manhattan court. To clear Combs' name, his legal team will have to make sense of a lot of permanent evidence and testimony. Some passing comments from celebs that no one thought anything of at the time have new meaning now. Check out this eerie 2014 clip from the reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
So who was with you this weekend? A bunch of my friends. Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber.
Oh, this party? I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it.
How many prominent people in Hollywood, if not witnessed, knew about Diddy's misdeeds? Sounds like a lot. On the Howard Stern show, Diddy's protege, Usher, explained that he saw some weird stuff when he was working on his first album while living with Combs. He was living with him, let me emphasize, at the age of 13 years old.
I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Following Diddy's arrest, Usher mysteriously wiped his X account. After much social media speculation, Usher said he was hacked. Aside from P. Diddy, by the way, Combs' nicknames were many. Puff Daddy, Puffy, PD, Love.
What?
Yeah, Love. And who calls their house Puffy Flavor Camp? That Usher emerged from this environment relatively okay, or so we'd hope, is amazing.
Crazy.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
That was a fast reaction. There's also Justin Bieber, who was also very young when he came into Diddy's circle. Like, what the heck was this?
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Bieber has alluded to a traumatic past.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second.
Time will tell if we ever get the truth on Usher and Bieber's time at Puffy Flavor Camp, but it appears this alleged depravity will soon be litigated in court. Megyn Kelly had a great point here.
If he's a victim, he's in a very difficult spot because he's been abused.
Yeah.
And this brings up a lot, especially for a man.
Yeah.
It's very hard to go out and say that this has happened to you, but if he was a victim, God forbid, I encourage him to do it because you need someone strong like that to break the dam.
But why wasn't any of this public for years? At least for his sex parties, the indictment explains how Diddy orchestrated a cover-up. Part of it involved using the recordings as extortion to ensure obedience and silence from victims. Not just Combs, but people who worked for him, including assistants and security guards. They all acted as his henchmen. They pressured and bribed witnesses and victims to not report whatever deranged hedonism they saw to law enforcement, according to the indictment. If this is all true, Diddy was able to fend off the feds for decades. He had a mastery over the media and the public eye. He engaged in silly showmanship, like on MTV's Master the Band, where he infamously made contestants walk 3 hours across New York to fetch him cheesecake.
I'm starving too. You know something? I want me a piece of cheesecake. You know where to get the cheesecake spot is at? Yeah. Yeah, and y'all can walk from here, get the cheesecake, see the city, enjoy the sights, would you?
It keeps getting more messed up, though. Combs claimed to be a philanthropist during all of this. He launched Harlem Charter School in 2016. A significant portion of his Sean John fragrance collection was donated to breast cancer research, and he's given millions to the fight against HIV and AIDS. Puffy even had New York Mayor Eric Adams duped. Last year, just weeks before the civil lawsuits against him were filed, Sean Combs was given the key to New York City. Adams rescinded the honor and asked for the key back after the Cassie video went public. So is P. Diddy hiding a massive crime syndicate in plain sight among the richest and most well-connected? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you didn't check out our last video, click here to learn about Israel's crazy operation in which it planted and detonated pagers and walkie-talkies among Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon.
What they're looking for, because it was going on the premises of, they're looking for pictures of girls that may appear to be underage.
Diddy's daughter, Chance Combs, has emotionally confirmed what we knew all along. She has publicly condemned her father in light of the recent wave of allegations against him. The allegations, which include claims of mistreatment, have sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. Chance's decision to speak out against her father marks a significant and poignant moment, as it not only shows the gravity of the accusations, but also highlights the impact these issues have had on his own family. Chance Combs, who has largely stayed out of the public eye compared to her famous father, took to social media to express her feelings. In a heartfelt statement, she expressed deep disappointment and sadness over the allegations that have surfaced. She acknowledged the complexity of the situation, noting that while Diddy has played a significant role in shaping the music industry and providing for his family, these recent revelations have cast a shadow over his legacy. In her statement, Chance did not hold back in condemning her father's alleged actions. She emphasized that no amount of success or influence can excuse mistreatment, and she expressed solidarity with those who have come forward with their stories. Chance's words reflected a deep sense of betrayal and hurt as she grappled with the contrast between the father she knew and the disturbing allegations that have come to light. The impact of Chance's public condemnation is profound, as it brings a deeply personal dimension to the ongoing controversy surrounding Diddy. It's one thing for fans and the media to critique a public figure, but when a family member, especially a child, speaks out, it adds a layer of authenticity and gravity to the situation. Chance's statement suggests that the allegations against Diddy have not only affected his public image, but have also deeply strained his familial relationships. Furthermore, Chance's decision to speak out reflects a broader cultural shift where more individuals, even those connected to powerful figures, are willing to stand up against wrongdoing, regardless of personal ties. It's a reminder that the consequences of such allegations extend beyond the individuals directly involved and ripple out to affect families and loved ones. The entertainment industry, known for its often opaque dealings and power dynamics, is being increasingly held to account, and Chance Combs' condemnation of her father is a powerful testament to this changing landscape. Her words resonate with the growing demand for accountability and transparency in an industry that has long been criticized for protecting its most powerful figures at the expense of the vulnerable. As the situation continues to unfold, Chance Combs' public stance may also inspire others within the industry to speak out against misconduct, regardless of their personal connections to those accused. It's a bold move that highlights the importance of standing up for what's right, even when it means going against family. In the coming weeks and months, it will be important to watch how this situation develops and whether Chance's words will lead to further introspection and accountability within the industry. For now, her condemnation of her father serves as a stark reminder that the actions of public figures do not just affect their careers, they also have profound impacts on the lives of those closest to them.
I'm speechless. I am speechless. Baby, you look so beautiful. So beautiful. She's a future actress. Her name is Chance Combs. Chance, you tell her.
Yes, I'm an aspiring actress, and it's my first time at the Oscars, so I'm really excited to be here. Yeah.
Following the controversy surrounding his misconduct, Diddy returned to social media to celebrate a major milestone in his daughter Chance's life. "My baby girl turned 18 today. I'm so proud of you, Chance. I love you," Diddy wrote on Instagram on Saturday, July 20th, sharing a photo of the teenager on the beach, plus a throwback father-daughter shot. A few hours later, Chance, Diddy's daughter with ex Sarah Chapman, shared her father's post on Instagram stories, adding red and pink heart emojis. Diddy is also a father to 6 other children. He shares a 26-year-old son, King, and 16-year-old twin daughters, Jessie and Delilah, with the late Kim Porter. Additionally, he has a 30-year-old son, Justin, from his relationship with Misa Hilton, and a 21-month-old daughter, Love, with Dana Tran. The music icon also adopted Quincy, Porter's son from a previous relationship. Quincy was one of Chance's brothers, who also received birthday greetings on Saturday. He posted, "Happy birthday, Chance. It's so beautiful to see you blossoming into your beautiful self." Earlier this summer, he posted a selfie from Chance's high school graduation. While Chance and Quincy remain active on social media, Diddy wiped his account clean in June. He had already disabled comments back in April ahead of a controversy that cast a shadow over him. In November 2023, Diddy became embroiled in a legal dispute when his ex-girlfriend Cassie filed a lawsuit alleging mistreatment during their decade-long relationship. Though Diddy vehemently denied the claims, he opted for a swift settlement within 24 hours. After Cassie's suit, more individuals came forward with similar accusations against him, all of which he has rejected. In 2016, CNN obtained a video revealing Diddy grabbing then 37-year-old Cassie by the neck and kicking her. In May, he publicly apologized through a video for his actions. Diddy shared that revisiting the darkest chapters of his life is a difficult process, revealing that he had been through some deeply troubled moments. He confessed to reaching rock bottom, but stressed that he never sought to justify his actions. Reflecting on his behavior in the video, he labeled it as unforgivable and took full accountability, admitting his own disgust at his conduct. He shared that he had pursued professional assistance, encompassing therapy and rehabilitation, and had earnestly prayed to God for mercy and grace. While expressing profound regret, he emphasized his dedication to self-improvement with each passing day. He made it clear that he wasn't seeking forgiveness, but was truly remorseful for his actions.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry.
Back in March, Homeland Security conducted raids on 2 of Diddy's properties, one in Los Angeles and another in Miami. This action was part of a broader federal probe into trafficking. To date, Diddy has not faced any charges or arrests. Diddy's attorney, Aaron Dyer, told Us Weekly in a statement, "There was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated." Following revelations from Diddy's recent lawsuit about his involvement with underage girls at his notorious parties, including his troubling behavior toward them, Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian Combs, are now speaking out. They claim that their father pressured them into becoming entangled in the scandal.
I need to get mine.
See, we knew that was going to happen.
All up in the video, all on the record, all on the charts.
The lawsuit claims that they have been colluding with their father secretly all along. Some suspect that Diddy might have exploited their impressionable years to manipulate them. Allegedly, Diddy threw strange parties at his home when Justin and Christian were still very young, and the boys spent most of their time with him, visiting their mothers only sporadically. There's quite a bit to delve into, so settle in and prepare for the unfolding drama. As many of you are aware, Diddy has been making headlines recently for troubling reasons, with a new lawsuit from producer Rodney Jones adding to the controversy. Rodney asserted that he and Diddy were set to work together on music for Diddy's upcoming album. Yet, when he arrived at Diddy's home, he encountered mistreatment and observed shocking incidents. Rodney alleged that Diddy engaged in inappropriate conduct, including groping him, tampering with his drinks, and mistreating young women brought in by Young Miami and others for Diddy's gatherings. Rodney disclosed that Diddy admitted to having affairs with Meek Mill and Usher. He reportedly boasted about arranging a hookup with Stevie J in return for a Grammy for Producer of the Year on the Love album. Additionally, Diddy allegedly offered Rodney $250,000 for musical instruments and promised him ownership of a $20 million property on Star Island in Miami, Florida. To add fuel to the fire, Rodney revealed that Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian, were not only aware of, but also involved in their father's actions. These disclosures from Rodney were startling, casting a troubling shadow over both Diddy and his family's conduct. Rodney reported seeing Diddy's youngest son, Christian Combs, with a woman, but the situation deteriorated quickly. He also alleged that Diddy's other son, Justin, was engaged in similar behavior, supposedly involved in recruiting and enticing girls to parties. Rodney even provided a series of photos from some of Diddy's gatherings, depicting Justin and others in intimate moments with girls.
Diddy is in the crosshairs of law enforcement on both coasts of America as federal agents have descended on his Beverly Hills home. So don't forget to subscribe by hitting that button down below and like this video and leave a comment because I read every single one and I learn a lot from you guys.
Breaking news right now, we're following the Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home.
As the lawsuit garnered widespread attention online, Diddy, Christian, and Justin found themselves in a state of alarm and swiftly issued statements to address the situation. Diddy firmly denied the allegations, dismissing Rodney's claims as falsehoods aimed at financial gain. Similarly, Justin's team released a statement unequivocally rejecting the accusations and branding them as a last-ditch effort by someone looking for a quick payout. They also cautioned that any defamatory remarks about the Combs family would lead to legal repercussion. While some were outraged and called for the imprisonment of everyone involved, others suggested that Christian and Justin might also be victims. Christian was just emerging into adulthood when his mother, Kim Porter, died. It is said that Christian had been exposed to Diddy's lifestyle for years, as he spent much of his time with him. After Kim's death, Diddy became Christian's sole guardian. Given what we know about Diddy now, it's evident that he may not have been the most positive influence on Christian. There have been whispers that Diddy threatened to derail Christian's music career after he resisted Diddy's demands. It's said that a similar fate befell Diddy's older son, Quincy, whose career never gained traction. Quincy frequently challenged Diddy and openly rejected his demands, which reportedly angered Diddy and contributed to Quincy's lack of success. Interestingly, Quincy has remained absent from any discussions about this controversy, unlike Christian and Justin, which says a lot about the family's dynamics. As for Justin, Rodney suggested that he probably felt coerced into certain situations and even considered leaving at one point, but Diddy intervened, putting Justin in a dangerously precarious position.
But he would do that play fight. You understand? So I can imagine him play fighting with Lil Rod. Because, you know, a lot of people could say what they want to say about Diddy.
Rodney reported that the incident took place at a studio in California, organized by Diddy for writers and producers. Justin showed up with a friend named G, a Black American model he had invited for the evening. During one of the nights at the camp, Diddy and Justin had a heated argument. According to Rodney, their disagreement grew so intense that they ended up retreating to an adjacent restroom to continue their altercation. In the ensuing moments, Rodney was jolted by a series of gunshots. Alongside the other staff, he hurried to the bathroom. As they flung the door open, they saw Diddy and Justin swiftly retreating, while Justin's friend G lay on the floor grimacing and clutching his stomach. The lawsuit described how Jones was instantly gripped by shock and anxiety, fearing he could be the next victim following the incident. As a crowd gathered outside the restroom, Combs and J. Combs finally came out, revealing G lying on the bathroom floor, curled up in a fetal position, clutching his abdomen and bleeding from his left hip. The bystanders were exasperated by the absence of prompt help. Jones left everything behind, darted to G's side, and immediately began applying pressure to his wound. When the ambulance finally arrived to take G away, Diddy took swift action, directing that the authorities be notified of his non-involvement in the shooting. He also pressured Rodney into falsely claiming that G had been struck in a drive-by shooting outside the studio. In the legal dispute, Rodney asserted that he still has the clothing he wore on that day, which carry stains with G's DNA. He also provided photographs of the restroom where the incident occurred. Rodney has alleged that either Diddy or Justin was responsible for pulling the trigger, though both have remained tight-lipped. Considering that G was a friend of Justin's, it's conceivable that Justin and Diddy might have approached him after, offering a significant sum to keep him quiet. Diddy has brought his sons into this predicament, and it's quite possible they could face repercussions alongside him. Opinions on this situation are divided. Some individuals have voiced compassion for the children, pondering the pressures they might have been under. They've also called for a thorough investigation by authorities to reveal the complete scope of the issue. Furthermore, there are troubling reports that the twin girls have left home, which raises concerns about the emotional impact they might have endured as a result of their father's alleged behavior.
That, like, it's just very easy.
Yeah.
And obviously there's some things that are easier just due to his status and stuff, but he makes sure we work for everything that we...
When I mention that Diddy is facing significant challenges at the moment, I mean it with gravity. It's more than just the escalating number of lawsuits and the whisper of more legal troubles on the horizon. The true turmoil is unfolding within his family, which appears to be disintegrating right before him, leaving him powerless to intervene. His son, Justin Combs, is said to be estranged from him, and their bond is anything but harmonious. Recent reports suggest that Diddy might have deliberately sabotaged his son's career out of fear of being eclipsed by a more successful figure. Additionally, allegations have emerged accusing Diddy of mistreating his former partner Misa and continuing such behavior. The lawsuit filed by Cassie was seen as a landmark event, potentially encouraging other victims to come forward and seek justice. In a surprising turn of events, a member of Diddy's own family has now stepped into the spotlight to publicly denounce him. Have you ever wondered why none of Diddy's children have reached significant career milestones despite their father's prominence in the music world? With Diddy being a leading figure in Hollywood, you'd think King Combs would be making waves in the industry. Yet he's currently facing challenges while boasting fewer than 450,000 monthly Spotify listeners. Quincy and Justin face similar hurdles in their professional lives. Justin claims that this predicament stems from Diddy's intentional efforts to stifle their progress. According to him, Diddy is set on preventing them from exceeding his own accomplishments and is willing to go to great lengths to keep them under his influence. Justin contends that he experienced this interference on 2 separate occasions. One notable instance occurred after Justin graduated high school and secured a place at Harvard, a significant achievement considering the university's rigorous admissions standards. Allegedly, Diddy pressured him to transfer to UCLA, reportedly to keep him within closer reach. UCLA's reputation as a top-tier university is undeniable, yet it's apparent that Justin didn't show much enthusiasm for it at first. If he had been truly interested, UCLA would have been his choice over Harvard. Moreover, Diddy's logic seems off. Given his tendency to bounce between New York, Louisiana, and other destinations, he wouldn't have a strong connection to Justin if he decided to transfer to UCLA. Justin's transfer to UCLA marked the start of a remarkable journey. He quickly became a standout player on the football team, showcasing his impressive skills. However, whispers of a potential professional career soon emerged. Things took a dramatic turn when Diddy was arrested for mistreating Justin's coach during a game. He not only confronted the coach aggressively, but also threw a kettlebell at him. Although the coach was unharmed, the incident dashed Justin's hopes of going pro. Diddy's behavior didn't stop there. He later had a similar altercation with Quincy. You might recall Quincy from the hit series Empire. His departure from the show is tied to an intriguing conflict with Diddy. According to Page 6, Lee Daniels, the producer, was keen to bring Quincy back for another stint. However, the plan was derailed when Diddy stepped in. The issue arose when 20th Century Fox, the network behind Empire, requested Quincy to forfeit a minor share of his music rights linked to the series, a common requirement for actors who also contribute musically to the show. In this scenario, every time the song performed by the actors on the show is streamed, the royalties are split between them and Fox. However, Diddy was livid upon learning that Quincy would have to cede a portion of his music rights for the show to Fox. A source told Page 6 that Diddy was so enraged he contacted top executives at 20th Century Fox TV to insist on a revision of their music rights policy. Despite his strong objections, he was unable to change their stance. Diddy then declared that his son would not forfeit his intellectual property and subsequently barred him from appearing on the show. Quincy had no trouble ceding a portion of his music rights for the show to Fox, as it only pertained to a fraction of the tracks he had contributed. However, the situation deteriorated dramatically when Diddy made a call to Fox without Quincy's approval. This move infuriated the executives, resulting in Quincy being ousted from the show. Now, the fallout is even reaching Diddy's family, with his son Justin publicly denouncing him. Justin has accused his father of undermining his career, sabotaging his life, and mistreating his mother, Misa Hilton. Misa was Diddy's initial partner, and Justin asserts that Diddy has consistently mistreated her. It's claimed that in moments of anger, Diddy would often inflict physical harm on Misa, leaving her with numerous bruises. Gene, Diddy's own bodyguard, has reportedly corroborated these troubling allegations.
I never heard that Puff ever put his hands on Misa. You just make, if you saw it, you know why you ain't do nothing about it. I didn't see it. And I always say, Mighty, when I heard something,
appears that Diddy has been complicit in undermining his own life. Recall that a few months back, Justin faced arrest for a DUI, and Misa laid the blame squarely at Diddy's feet. She accused him of having a profoundly negative impact on Justin's career, effectively derailing it. Misa, with palpable frustration, declared her withdrawal from the reality TV realm, stating she would only defend her son and the children under her care. Her remarks evoke the adage, "A fish rots from the head down," underscoring that while strong leadership is vital for a family's or organization's its prosperity, it can also be the source of its downfall. In her view, uncovering the truth is the path to liberation. She continued to behave like a troublemaker. She said, "I once aspired to be a rebellious spirit, but I chose to embrace my role as a queen. I may not be perfect, but my intentions are clear. I should have kept my child close." She also mentioned that people often have to pretend for years as if nothing is wrong with them. We all had our suspicions about the blame. Initially, it seemed puzzling that she was pinning the responsibility on Diddy for her grown son's behavior. Yet, now that the full story has come to light, everything finally falls into place. It's shocking to witness Diddy's behavior toward his own family and children. Their frustration is palpable, to the point where they're calling him out and openly criticizing him. Notably, Justin's ongoing support for Cassie sends a clear message about his position. It appears that Justin is the first to push back against Diddy's influence. I'm left wondering if other older children will soon follow suit and voice their dissent as well. Supporters are rallying behind Justin with heartfelt compassion for his children, acknowledging the challenges they've weathered and continue to face. They are fervently hoping for their tranquility and security. Since Cassie's lawsuit came to light, Diddy's life has been nothing short of tumultuous. This shift in events has brought joy to many as they anticipate that Diddy will now endure the same intense scrutiny he has previously imposed on others. Navigating the fine line between shielding children from public judgment and holding the powerful accountable is crucial. The moment has arrived for Diddy to confront the repercussions of his own actions. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this.
But the judge found Diddy a threat to witnesses and a danger to women.
We have some breaking news out of New York, folks, where Sean Diddy Combs was back in federal court today.
I dare one of you niggas scream out no Diddy.
Told you, I knew your dad for a long time. He did that shit. He guilty as shit.
How far would you go to defend a family legacy in the face of public scandal and legal battles? That's the question at the heart of the latest developments surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and his family. In the unfolding story, Diddy's son makes new statement in court that changes everything. We delve deep into the role that Diddy's children, particularly Christian, Justin, and Quincy, have played in standing by their father through a storm of allegations and legal troubles. Diddy's son's involvement in the legal process. Christian and Justin Combs have played a visible role in supporting their father, Sean Diddy Combs, during his ongoing legal struggles. Both brothers have been present at crucial court appearances, notably during Diddy's arraignment in September 2024, where serious federal charges were brought against the music mogul, including racketeering and trafficking allegations. Christian was seen reading the indictment against his father, a somber scene as the sons processed the severe nature of the charges. Their involvement became even more pronounced after a dramatic raid on Diddy's Los Angeles home in March 2024.
It seems that embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is selling his LA mansion. The Homely Hills estate was the site of a federal raid that Fox 11 first broke back in March,
where both Justin and Christian were detained during the operation. This event was a major turning point in the case, drawing significant media attention as government forces arrested Diddy and took his sons into custody briefly before their release. Despite their direct involvement in these legal proceedings, Christian and Justin have remained vocal in their support of their father. They have attended multiple hearings, often flanked by family members, including their adopted brother Quincy, to show unity during this challenging time. Their visible presence at the hearings has been a clear statement of solidarity, despite the media scrutiny surrounding their father's allegations. Public and media reactions have varied. While some applaud the brothers for standing by their father, others criticize the family's high-profile defense as a distraction from the gravity of the allegations against Diddy. Media outlets have reported on the emotional toll these legal battles are taking on the entire Combs family, particularly on Diddy's children. As the trial continues to develop, Christian and Justin's roles in court offer a glimpse into the pressure and responsibility placed on them as public figures. Their unwavering loyalty, despite the mounting legal complexities, suggests a deep family bond that's being tested in the public eye. How has Christian Combs expressed his frustrations about the public criticism of his father? Is his response helping to clear Diddy's name, or does it invite more controversy? King Combs' response to criticism. Amid the swirling controversies surrounding his father, Sean Diddy Combs, Christian King Combs took a bold step by releasing a diss track aimed at those publicly criticizing his family, particularly 50 Cent. This move followed months of intense scrutiny surrounding Diddy's legal troubles, including federal charges related to trafficking and racketeering. King's diss track, Pick a Side, quickly became the center of media attention, not just because of the content, but because it marked a significant public statement from Diddy's son at a crucial moment. In the song, King Combs doesn't hold back. He directly addresses the relentless online jabs and media commentary targeting his father. One of the most talked about lines from the track, "I dare one of you N-words scream out no Diddy," was a clear response to the viral trolling initiated by 50 Cent. The diss was not only a defense of his father, but a pointed challenge to anyone trying to undermine the Combs family during this tumultuous time. The track also touched on the recent government raids on Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami homes, where federal agents reportedly searched for evidence related to the trafficking charges. King made it clear that despite the intense legal heat, the Combs family was still thriving, rapping.
Diddy's home in Los Angeles has been raided by Homeland Security. Of course, we're learning more information. I do want to take you back out here.
Police raid the crib like they think we selling crack, but we out here selling tracks, multi-million-dollar plaques. This was a reference to the multiple successful projects the family continues to produce despite the ongoing legal battles. However, the track's most significant target was 50 Cent, a longtime rival of Diddy who has been vocal about Diddy's legal troubles. 50 Cent has made a habit of publicly mocking Diddy, including referring to him with derogatory nicknames and making light of the serious allegations against him. King Combs' track was a direct response to these taunts. In the diss, King cleverly referenced 50 Cent's famous album Get Rich or Die Trying and flipped the narrative, accusing 50 of trying to capitalize on Diddy's misfortune. He rapped, "Pop's been hated on by many men, and that's fine. They gon' try to stop these M's and they gon' die trying." Using wordplay to both defend his father and mock 50 Cent's attempts to tarnish Diddy's legacy. 50 Cent, never one to shy away from a feud, responded almost immediately after the track was streamed by DJ Academics. True to his style, 50 Cent took to social media, posting sarcastic comments aimed at belittling King's efforts. He posted an image of Diddy and King performing together on stage, captioning it with, "I feel so threatened by the things Christian is saying on his record. I'm afraid for my life. Please don't hurt me, guys." He also included a mocking reference to the legal troubles, further escalating the feud. Public reaction to King's diss track was mixed. On one hand, many fans praised him for standing up for his father in such a public way, with some seeing it as a necessary move to defend his family's honor. Others, however, questioned whether releasing a diss track was the best strategy given the gravity of the legal situation. Some critics felt that King's response was too aggressive and could potentially draw more unwanted attention to the family's ongoing legal battles. Despite the mixed reactions, the diss track succeeded in putting King Combs in the spotlight, cementing his role as a defender of his father's legacy. While the song did little to silence 50 Cent or other critics, it made one thing clear. The Combs family was not backing down, and King was ready to fight back against anyone who disrespected his father. The track showcased King Combs' determination to protect his family's reputation, even as legal troubles continued to mount. Can King Combs' diss track shift the public narrative around his father's legal battles, or will it further complicate their situation? Is this bold move a strategic defense, or could it invite more controversy for the Combs family? Family tensions in the public eye. As Diddy's legal troubles continue to unravel, his children are caught in the crossfire of negative media attention. The Combs family, especially his sons Christian and Justin, have had to navigate the public's harsh scrutiny while showing solidarity with their father. From attending court hearings to facing the public eye, the siblings are under immense pressure, balancing personal loyalty with the weight of a highly publicized scandal. Christian, Justin, and Quincy have been present at several court appearances where they've been seen supporting their father. Christian, in particular, was captured reading through the 14-page indictment during one of Diddy's arraignments. The brothers have been vocal about their love and unwavering support for Diddy, showing a united front. Despite the overwhelming media coverage, the family continues to stand by their father, reflecting the internal struggles they must face, trying to protect their family image while being swept into a legal storm. Outside of court, the rest of Diddy's children, including his twin daughters Jessie and Delilah, have faced emotional struggles. Protected by close family friends, they have chosen not to read the legal documents to shield themselves from the growing controversy. However, the emotional toll is undeniable. Reports suggest that the entire family is in shock, torn between the father they know is loving and the accusations against him. The balancing act of loyalty and public scandal has deeply affected their relationships. While Diddy's children remain supportive, the media's relentless coverage of the case complicates their efforts to maintain normalcy in their lives. This public spectacle has magnified family tensions, as the children must deal with being under constant scrutiny, not only as individuals but also as Diddy's offspring. How long can Diddy's children maintain this public stance of unity without it affecting their individual lives? Could this ongoing support from his children help turn the public tide in Diddy's favor? The misconduct allegations against Christian Combs. In addition to Diddy's legal battles, Christian Combs is now facing his own misconduct allegations, which have further complicated his father's case. A recent lawsuit alleges that Christian engaged in inappropriate behavior, adding another layer of controversy to an already tumultuous period for the family.
Plaintiff alleges she was working as a stewardess aboard a yacht owned by Combs when his son, Christian, drugged and sexually assaulted her.
While these allegations are separate from Diddy's charges, they have added fuel to the fire, complicating public perceptions of the Combs family. Public reactions to the lawsuit have been mixed. Some fans have expressed disbelief, standing by Christian and defending him against the accusations. Others see the claims as part of a broader narrative of trouble within the Combs family. The media has latched onto these allegations, with various outlets dissecting how they might influence Diddy's larger legal battle. The timing of these accusations couldn't be worse for the Combs family, as Diddy is already in the spotlight for serious charges. Christian's alleged misconduct has only intensified public scrutiny, with many wondering if these new claims will sway public sympathy away from the family. Although Christian has not publicly addressed the allegations in detail, the ongoing legal issues are undoubtedly impacting his and his family's image. Media narratives surrounding Christian's allegations are crucial, as they affect how the public views the Combs family as a whole. These issues could cast a shadow over any potential defense strategy for Diddy, further complicating his legal team's efforts to separate the charges against him from his son's lawsuit. Will Christian's legal battles overshadow Diddy's case in the media spotlight? How will these separate lawsuits shape the public's perception of the Combs family moving forward? Justin Combs and his role in the family. Justin Combs, the eldest biological son of Sean Diddy Combs, has taken on a significant role in his father's legal battles, showing unwavering support during court hearings. He was seen alongside his brother Christian at Diddy's high-profile arraignment in New York City in September 2024, where they stood by their father amidst serious federal charges, including racketeering and trafficking. The family's united front has been a key narrative in public appearances, with Justin showing up at multiple hearings to provide emotional support for his father during this difficult period. While his presence in the courtroom signals strong familial loyalty, Justin's career has also been impacted by the controversy. Known for his achievements outside of the family's drama, Justin has established himself as an actor and social media personality, cultivating a career somewhat independent of Diddy's legacy. However, the ongoing legal issues have undeniably brought him into the spotlight, with many of his public appearances now tied to the legal struggles of his father. This shift in media focus from his personal achievements to his family's controversy has, in some ways, overshadowed his career. Despite these challenges, Justin continues to defend his family's legacy in public forums. His appearances at events and court hearings have sent a message of loyalty and solidarity, even as media narratives scrutinize the Combs family. In interviews and social media posts, Justin has remained relatively quiet about the details of the case, preferring to let his presence speak for itself. By standing by Diddy, Justin is helping to shape the family's image as unified and resilient during these turbulent times. Will Justin's unwavering support for his father affect his own career in the long run? Can the Combs family's public show of unity help mitigate the damage caused by these legal battles? Quincy's role and perspective as the adopted son of Diddy and the biological son of the late Kim Porter and Al B. Sure. Quincy Brown has always played a unique role in the Combs family. His presence during Diddy's court hearings has been vital in maintaining the family's public image of unity. Quincy, along with his brothers Justin and Christian, has been seen attending multiple court sessions, showing support for their father during the high-profile legal battles. Quincy's involvement in the family is significant, not just as an emotional anchor, but also as a public figure managing his own career in acting and music. Having starred in shows like Star and Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Quincy has carved out a career that stands apart from Diddy's legacy. And however, the ongoing legal issues have intertwined his public life with the family's controversy, forcing him to balance personal ambition with the responsibility of defending his family's name. In terms of media management, Quincy has shown a thoughtful approach. While less vocal than his brother Christian, who released a diss track, Quincy tends to focus on controlled public appearances and subtle support. He also has a role in guiding his younger siblings, especially his twin sisters Jessie and Delilah, shielding them from the media frenzy. Through his actions, Quincy demonstrates that he values family loyalty, but also prioritizes his own path in the entertainment industry.
Looking at my beautiful son, boy, you's a beautiful Black king. Jesus, you just think that.
How long can Quincy balance the pressure of maintaining his personal career while supporting his father's legal defense? Will Quincy's quieter approach to the controversy benefit the family's public image? A history of Diddy's legal troubles and family controversies. Sean Diddy Combs, a towering figure in the hip-hop and entertainment world, has faced numerous legal battles throughout his career. While his success as a music mogul and businessman is undeniable, his legal troubles and family controversies have repeatedly put him in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. These issues have not only impacted his reputation, but have also placed significant pressure on his family, forcing them to deal with public scrutiny and media speculation. One of the earliest and most notable legal incidents in Diddy's life occurred in 1999.
Taking a closer look at the 1999 nightclub shooting in New York and what a new investigation could look like.
In December of that year, Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy, and his then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were at Club New York in Manhattan when a shooting took place. 3 people were injured, and Diddy, along with rapper Shine, was arrested. Diddy faced charges of weapons possession and bribery after allegedly trying to convince his driver to claim ownership of a gun found in the vehicle. Although Diddy was acquitted of all charges in 2001, the incident left a mark on his public image. Shine, however, was convicted and served 10 years in prison, a case that would haunt Diddy's reputation for years. In addition to the nightclub shooting, Diddy has faced numerous allegations of assault and violence over the years. In 2005, he was sued by a man who claimed that Diddy's bodyguards assaulted him at a party. Diddy eventually settled the case out of court. This was not an isolated incident. Throughout the 2000s, Diddy found himself embroiled in several similar lawsuits, including allegations of violence at his events or by members of his entourage. While many of these cases were settled or dismissed, the repeated accusations painted a picture of a star who couldn't stay out of legal trouble.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces.
Diddy's legal troubles have not been limited to criminal criminal cases. He has also faced numerous business conflicts, especially related to his label, Bad Records. Artists signed to bad boys such as the LOX complained about unfair contracts and a lack of financial transparency. These disputes often played out in public, with artists accusing Diddy of exploiting them and keeping them locked in restrictive deals. While these issues have often been resolved behind closed doors, they contributed to a growing perception that Diddy's business practices were controversial at best. As Diddy faces the possibility of a lengthy legal battle in 2025, the outcome of these charges could significantly shape how he is remembered. If convicted, it could mark the end of a career that has spanned over 3 decades. On the other hand, if acquitted, Diddy may once again emerge from the shadow of controversy, albeit with a permanently altered public image. The Combs family's
Islam, 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 Moors, Islam. Islam, Salaam Alaikum, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom, man. Yeah. These demons, they got to go. Allah say enough is enough. They got to go. No more demons. Demons, bye-bye. Get out of here, demons. Bye-bye. God bodies are taking over. D Calico, show them what I'm talking about, bro. I love you. Peace. I love all y'all. Got to go to work. You already know. Peace.